Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad all of you all are here. This work is very dear to my heart and I have a real passion for it. I am Debbie Stroud and I am a teacher, I'm an artist, I'm an energy worker, I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I'm a creatively fit coach. And I've put all of those things into one big ball of energy. That's what I am, a big ball of energy, and I help transform lives. And so I have two purposes for tonight. One is that whether you and I ever see each other again, whether we ever meet in this life, I hope that something I do or say or show you tonight makes a difference in your life. That's why I'm here. And two, I'm obviously here to market my services. And at the very end, I'll let you know of some of the things that I have going on currently in case you want to get involved in them, both free and paid. So there's always free opportunities to connect with me. That's how I get my work out. And that's one of my big passions. Also, but I am here to make a living too. So I want to share my screen with you very quickly because there is a thing that I want to share with you. So give me just a second for the text stuff to come up. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. I want to tell you my story because I have a pretty cool story. I'm a teacher and I'm a professional artist. I told you I was a creatively fit coach. I'm a Reiki practitioner, an energy healer. I'm working on being certified in NLP, and I'm also an intuitive painter. I started off I was raised in uber religion in the South. I was enmeshed in it. It was my lens of normal. And I didn't think that there was anything else because it was my normal. When I was brought up by two wonderful parents who I love, but they had their own traumas, right? Nobody is perfect. And so being brought up by parents who have trauma of their own, I was really raised in dysfunction and I didn't even know it because it was my lens of normal. And in that part of religion, I was never allowed to make any decisions for myself. My decision of college, what I was going to be when I grew up, all of that was already decided for me. And I was told when I was a teenager that I didn't have really any choice over what boy to decide to go out with because I might never, ever have another chance. So whoever asked me out, I had better go. And so when you're told that as a child so much, that becomes your truth, even if that is not your story. Well, that was my truth. And so you can imagine with no decision-making skills, how that went. And it was like a Russian roulette of romance. And every single time the bullet hit me. I had two marriages that were mandated by the church. I went through a lot of trauma in those years. Now, I will say that there was good and there was bad, you know. I left that scene about 15 years ago, and I went on this major spiritual awakening. At that time, I was a single mom raising 3 kids with no child support. And I was working 2 and 3 jobs all at once. It just didn't match, and a miraculous door, and it's nothing more than a miracle from the Creator, opened for me to go to college. And so when my middle daughter entered college, so did I. We went to college together. I graduated with my undergrad at the age of 45 and became an art teacher, and I graduated with a master's degree by age 50. I was the first one in my family lineage to obtain a college degree. And while college degrees are not all there is, you know, that's not all the means. It was sure an accomplishment for me to walk across that stage and to see my 3 girls yelling my head off. Yelling their heads off and yelling my name. Not yelling my head off. I was receiving my diploma. Since then, I went through a big spiritual awakening. I realized that I had an energy healing lineage in my family. And I met a woman by the name of Whitney Freya, who totally and completely became my mentor. She poured into me, and with her tutelage, along with other people that the universe brought through my path, that brought me where I am today. And so, with that being said, let me go on. Why am I here? The main reason that I'm here is that I really super believe in the power that art heals. And it was so cool a few years ago when I first learned, I was studying meditation and I was learning different kinds of meditation, that painting and drawing in the zone produces the exact same brain waves as meditation. So here I was on this spiritual awakening path as an art teacher, as a professional artist, just getting started. And I really wanted to find a way to mesh the two. And boy, did I find that. I was able to mesh art plus energy work plus spirituality. I learned how to paint intuitively. I learned how to really dig down deep inside and find those things that needed and wanted to emerge and how to bring them out onto the canvas and out onto the paper, which is one of the things that I'm going to show you how to do tonight. The work that I've recently been doing is based on neurolinguistic programming and an art form called neurographic art, and it all focuses on neuroplasticity. Now, what is neuroplasticity? Well, neuroplasticity is the brain's innate ability to reframe and rewire and relearn throughout its lifetime. The brain is so amazing. The biggest takeaway from that is that we can control our thoughts. It's just like a muscle. It's hard at first. Some people don't even know that they have that ability to train their thoughts, but we do. And that's one of the things that tonight I hope I'm able to show you too. So here's what you need for tonight. You're going to need, number one, an open mind. Number two, we're going to ground in just a second, which will help you. It's a mindfulness exercise that will really help us sink into the present moment, because with all of you being here, you've decided that you're going to be here. There's nowhere else to be. And so you can take this time for you, and you can take this time to really live it in the present. And so in just a second, we're going to do that. And number three, I would like for you, if you have an open mind, then you are going to be open to embrace change. And that's what this art process is all about. The supplies that you need are I'm just using my sketchbook. I have a mixed media sketchbook. You can use whatever paper you have. I've taught elementary, middle, and high school art, and a lot of art programs are not financed very well, and I have learned to do with what I have. So I'm all about people using exactly what you have. You don't need anything special tonight. If you've got a ballpoint pen and some paper and either colored pencils or a marker or watercolor or whatever you have, we can use that. What I'm going to be using is my sketchbook. I'm going to use, and I'll show you this in just a second. I have my favorite's a Papermate Flare pen that's felt tipped. Sometimes use regular Sharpies. I'll show you this pen in just a second. I really like the lines, the fine lines that this pen draws. So without further ado, let's see. I want to talk just a little bit about the left and right sides of the brain. So have you ever had an idea that you want to draw, and you've thought of it and you can really visualize it in your mind really well? And by the time it goes from your head, down your neck, out your shoulder, into your arm, and down on the paper, it looks nothing like you want it to look. And you're looking at it like, what the heck? That didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Well, that's pretty simple. There's a left and a right side of your brain. Left side is responsible for the logical. That's the analytical. Left brain people that are more controlled by their left brain are very mathematical oriented. They're very science oriented. They're great at reasoning skills. And you've ever heard people say, I'm just not creative at all. And they get really frustrated. I'm just not. Listen, I hear that. And I've heard that from so many, especially high school students, that they have really bought into that story that creativity is this some innate magical ability that you're either born with or you're not. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. Now, there are some people that are born with creativity that are more right-brained thinkers, and that creative flow comes a little easier to them, but anybody Anybody can tap into that creative flow. Now, the right brain, if you are more right-brained, you are very passionate. You are really usually into the arts. You may be a real advocate for things going on in the world. You know, you're all about feeling, very perceptive, very passionate. That's me. And so when I first started this business that I'm in now, this business that I birthed, I really had a little bit of struggle, but there is a way to balance the left and right side of your brain. Now, let me give you the scenario. So let's say that you signed up for this workshop and you were really excited. I don't know if all of you are artists or not. By the time you leave tonight, you're going to be an artist, whether you think you are or not. And I'm going to show you that you can do it. But a lot of people think that they either are or they aren't. And that just is not true. One of the tips that I always have for people, if I can help you see like an artist sees, because artists don't see like normal people. Artists don't see, for example, when we're in kindergarten and first grade, we're given symbols like a mountain, right? There's a triangle for a mountain. And so that's how kids draw triangles. Like the ice cream cone is the upside down triangle, right? And the ice cream scoop is a circle on top. Is that really how an ice cream cone looks? No, it's not. Is that really how a mountain looks? No, it's not. That's what helping you see like an artist is. I cannot guarantee that you will draw like Leonardo da Vinci tonight after we're finished, but I can guarantee you that you will have a beautiful dream catcher on your page that you will have been guided through, and you will be able to feel into the energy of transmuting any emotions that you might have. And I'll show you how that energy and how just by drawing certain lines is going to really calm that thing. And it's really going to help you in your daily life especially if you have a lot of stress or a lot of anxiety. Okay, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to go back and I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to show you a couple of things before we start. Let me go up to my full screen here. Okay, so I want us all to just I'm going to show you an acupressure point, an energy point. If you're really feeling emotions that are real heavy, if you're anxious about things that are going on, if you have a whole lot of stress, there are so many pressure points in your body that you can use. And here's one of those. This is called the Peacekeeper. And you take your hands like this and put your palms together. And you take your middle fingers and you're going to put them in the hollow right underneath your ear. And then you cup your face and just gently press. And I'm pressing right back here with my middle finger into that little hollow. You don't press hard, but just enough to get you a little bit of pressure. And we're going to, oh, somebody else is coming in. We're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to do what's called the fire breath. And so when we do the fire breath, we move energy along. See, the goal is to, in art, we have static and we have dynamic. There's a way that you can make an artwork very dynamic that has a lot of movement in it just by drawing line. Artists who have passed away hundreds of years ago control your eyes, just even though that they're not alive now. When you view their artwork, they control your eye just by how they've drawn the line, because they have mastered how the eye moves along a line. We are going to experience dynamic energy. We're going to get your energy going. We're going to stir it up. And here's how we do it. Take that middle finger, put your palms together, put it back behind your ear. We're going to take a deep breath in. Ready? Here we go. We're going to count in for 4. Breathe it in. Hold it. All the while you're pushing on your earlobe a little bit. And now let it out. Really let it out. Let's do that again. Breathe it in. And hold it in. And really move that breath along. And one more big breath in. Holding it. And now releasing it. I'll show you one more. This is called the heart electric connection. And this is, take your left hand, You're going to take your thumb, your pointer finger, and your middle finger, and you're going to put it right below your breastbone, right around your heart. And you're going to take your fingers just like this and just press a little bit. There's an acupressure point right there. It kind of connects the gut heart area. And then you're going to take, I got to take my glasses off. With your right hand, you're going to take your thumb and your middle finger, and you're going to put it right to the hollow underneath your brow and gently press. So you're pressing your heart here, and these with your thumb and middle finger, you're gently pressing in. And so we're going to do the same thing. 3 deep breaths in. So we're going to breathe in, hold it, and really release it. Again, breathing in, holding it, and releasing it, really moving that energy around. And now let's do that again. Breathe it in, hold that breath, and now move it along. You know, in some circles, and when I do that in high school, we call that the Darth Vader breath. The high schoolers really like that. And some people who are not really into energy medicine really like that. Also, I want to do, so I want to know, put this in the chat. Did anybody see a difference from that? You know, do you feel any calmer in your body? How did your body feel when when you pushed on the pressure points, or could you tell any difference at all? So kind of type that in the chat if you have some answers. That was amazing. Can you say their names again? Yes, I can. So Kathleen, oh, you saw flashing lights, Kathy? That's amazing. Kathleen, the first one is called the Peacemaker. And I remember that by saying, I have peace in the palm of my hand. That's kind of from my religious days, but it's a great way to remember it. Softer behind your neck, anytime you breathe. I love it, love it, love it, love it. This is called the Peacemaker, and the other is called Connecting to Your Heart Electric. Connecting to your heart electric. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a really quick grounding, and then I want to get started into our art making, because I want us to have a lot of time to do that. So I'm going to put on some music, and we're just going to do about a minute or two grounding exercise. Let me get over here. And of course, there's always technical difficulty, because if there wasn't, it wouldn't be normal, at least for me. So bearing with me, I appreciate here we go. And so as we are sitting here, just get into a comfortable position, whether it's sitting in a chair, whatever it's doing, just get into a real comfortable position right now. Feather your nest, because in this meditation process, comfort is queen. And for you to get the most out of a meditation, it's always good that you are comfortable. And so whenever you're ready, just go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to take a gentle breath in and hold it for 4, and then release it for 4. So let's breathe in gently through your nose, holding it for 4, and gently releasing it. And again, breathing in and holding, and then releasing. One more good deep breath in, and now holding it and releasing. And now just stay with your breath and notice your breath. We're not trying to force anything to happen. We're not trying to make anything happen. Now I want you to notice any emotions that you have in your body. We're going to do a quick body scan, and all I want you to do is notice. So as you're breathing normally and regularly, we're going to start with your awareness at the top of your head as we scan down through the eyes and the nose, down to the mouth, and really relax your jaw if it's tense. Noticing down through your neck and your shoulders, just witnessing any emotion that may be there, any pain that may be there, any tension, and moving down to the shoulder. Now on down through the shoulders and the upper back, down into the chest. Just witnessing and accepting anything that comes up. There is no right, there is no wrong. We're just witnessing right now. And on down, 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 down through the torso and the middle back. And into your pelvis and your lower back. Now moving down through your genitals and your bottom, down into your thighs, witnessing and accepting anything that comes up, noticing any tension that's held in different parts of the body, moving from the thighs down into your knees now. And now down into the calves and your ankles and the balls of your feet and the top of your feet. And now down into your toes. And now while we're down here into our toes, let's grow out some roots. Let's really ground. So wherever you are, make sure your feet are either on the floor or touching something that's touching the floor. And as we're breathing just naturally, don't hold your breath. We're releasing all tension. Just begin to grow some roots out from the soles of your feet, going down, 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 down through the floor, down past the bones of your ancestors, down, down, down past rocks, down past roots, maybe down past an underground cave, however far and wide you need to go to be rooted and grounded. And when you've gone down far enough, let's take a deep breath in. And as you do, deep breath in, you're drawing that earth energy up, up, up through your roots, up, 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 and gently release it. And now drawing that earth energy up again, up, 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 up. It comes up a little higher, up through your hips, up into your chest. And gently release that breath. And one more big, deep breath of bringing that Mother Earth energy up, 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 that grounding energy up through your shoulders, your neck, and all the way up to your crown chakra. Just feel that nourishing energy, the grounding energy of Mother Earth. And any kind of tension, any kind of emotion that you have noticed in your body. We're going to take another deep breath, and when we exhale, send that emotion, send that tension back down, down, down through your roots into Mother Earth, where she will gladly take it from you and hold it. Here we go, a deep breath in. And now on the exhale, really sending any tension or emotion back down, 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 down into Mother Earth. And another big deep breath in. And now again, sending any emotion or tension back down through the roots of your feet into Mother Earth. One more gentle breath in, and the rest, exhale and send it back down, 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 down to Mother Earth. And now just for a moment, sit with your awareness deep inside your body. There's nowhere else to be right now. There's nothing else to do. And this time is for you. So let's set an intention together before we start that whatever needs to come up for you, whatever messages, whatever needs to be revealed to you will be revealed and will emerge through this process. So just right now, gently say that to yourself. Whatever needs to be revealed to me, I am open to the flow. Whatever message is intended for me, I'm open to the flow. Whatever emotion needs to be transmuted, I am open to receive it. And just sit with that for a moment. And now gently go ahead and start to move your toes and your fingers. Maybe move your head and your shoulders. Bring yourself back into the present moment. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, so let's get out our paper. Okay, so I have got a piece of paper here, and I'm just going to put it like this. Scoot that back so you can see it. So the kind of art that we are going to make together tonight has a series of lines to it. And in energy work, it's been found that the kind of lines that you draw have different effects on the subconscious. For example, when I draw a line, and I'm drawing this line and hopefully you can see it, right? And then I have another line that I draw on the other side of it. This creates tension where these lines are drawn, right? Now, if we think about how you feel when you see jagged lines, right? It's a distinct different feeling than you feel when you draw gentle curving lines, okay? And in symbolism in world cultures, the circle has been widely accepted as infinite, no beginning and no end, right? A symbol of oneness, a symbol of infinity. But if you think about the triangle, both of them contain a lot of energy. But if you think about the triangle, what's the triangle used for? Well, a lot of times it's used for, whoops, that's upside down. That should be an exclamation mark. It's used for warning signs, right? So when we're thinking about this type of art and we're transmuting emotions through art, one of the things that we're going to do tonight is everywhere that there is a V, we are going to round it out into a U to make it round, more circle-like, okay? And so wherever these meet, we're just going to make this a little V. And so if there was another line that came off of this, where this was, we would make this a V also. Does that make sense? Okay, that's the premise of what this thing is going to be created on. So, let me get to my regular paper and I'm going to turn it this way And I'm drawing this upside down, but that's okay. If you are one of those people that really cannot let go very well, if you're a perfectionist, if you are really, say like I ask you to draw a circle and you would be freaking out because you would think, oh my God, I can't even draw a great circle. You know, I'm just going to stop this. You get so overwhelmed. I have a tip for you. So if you're not able to draw and you don't think you can, let me rephrase that. I know that you're able to draw a circle, but if you get really freaked out at drawing a circle, get a template. If not, I'm going to show you how to do this naturally. And when we start drawing these lines, if you really cannot do this, if you really are so uptight that you have trouble, you can get a penny or a bottle top or whatever and push your line. Because when you push it, you're not thinking about what kind of line you're drawing. You're just pushing it across the page. And then you have an organic line. Does that make sense? So if you're a perfectionist, use that. This is going to work for anybody. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle. Now, when we think about dream catchers, right? Dream catchers are really not that big. But what I want to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to, about a third of the way down, just give yourself a little mark. Maybe a quarter of the way down. Give yourself a little mark. Then give yourself another little mark. It'd be like the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock. And then about the same. Give yourself a 3 o'clock and a 9 o'clock. Okay? Just like that. Now, very gently, we are going to, and I'm holding my pen really loose. Can you see what kind of pen I have? This is a Paper Make Flare. I'm using, I like it with a felt tip. You can use a Sharpie right now. You can use really anything you want. I like this because of the type of lines that it makes. So very, very gently, I'm just going to organically go around and really, I'm going to go around it 2 or 3 times. And it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And I might want to go back over it. Do that until you're kind of satisfied with how it looks. I'm going to lay this down so I can see it a little bit because I'm kind of drawing it upside down, which is fine. Okay, this is not perfect, but it's okay. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. I have the chat open. And it may take me a moment to see it, but I will see it. And move the chat over. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. Now we have divided this off. So let's just make a tick mark where the 12 or the 6 is, where the 3 and the 9 is. And very, very lightly, we're going to draw this line. Very lightly. Very lightly draw the line across. And then we're also going to divide it crossways. You see that? We're going to make another really light line that intersects in the middle. And then we're going to, this would be the 1 o'clock and the 7 o'clock. And we're going to do that all the way down that way too. So this is what it's going to look like. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is all very, very organic. In this type of drawing, in this neurographic lines, we have entered into the intention that whatever messages we need to receive are going to be received by us. They could be from our higher self. They could be from the subconscious. And in this type of art, it is believed, the theory is that every single line you draw is a message from your subconscious. Do you always receive the answers? All of them don't come all at once. You may have something emerge tonight and you may not. It's okay. It's all a part of the process because this is a destination. I mean, this is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a total new way of looking at the art process. Okay. Now what I would like for you to do is in the very middle, draw a small circle. This is going to be for that opening, right, in a dream catcher where, you see how I've done that, where the dreams are able to go through. The good dreams are able to go through. So in a dream catcher, this is from Native American tradition. And the tradition says that bad dreams, if you hang this at the head of your bed, then the bad dreams will get caught and the good dreams will be able to pass through. Okay, so the next thing, here's the next step. We are going to start up at the 12 and you're going, this is, think petals. So you're gently going to draw down and around that circle and come back up just like that. And at this point, it may be easier for you to turn your page. It is easier for me when I do that. And you're going to do that at every intersection that we put off on the tick mark, right? And so then you're going to turn it again. And you're drawing very gently and like really loose. Now, these are not any kind of, this is just our basic sketch, right? We're not drawing any kind of intuitive lines yet, but we will. Very loose, and I just keep turning my page around. I turn it another one. Everybody doing okay? Then I'll turn it around one more time. And now you've got these 8 little kind of spokes that kind of interlock with each other, which is the basis for our dream catcher. So I'm going to give you just a couple seconds to go ahead and do that. So by entering into the zone, by entering into this drawing zone where you just kind of zone out and you're not really concerned with what needs to happen. You're not concerned with what you have to do before you go to bed or what's got to happen tomorrow. You've taken this hour for yourself. We have the power. We have the creative power to change our perception and the meaning completely. Just by drawing lines. We have the power to transmute the energy that's inside of us by drawing triangles, by drawing circles, just by drawing shapes. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is so true. And while you are finishing this up, this first part, I really want you to begin to think about if this is a dream catcher and you are drawing a dream catcher, and this is what you don't want to get through, right? And this is what you want to get through. What would you like to track? We're focusing on those emotions that we want or those things in our life that we want less of. Because here's the thing about that. Usually those things are the things that we resist. They're the things that don't feel good. They're the things that we usually push down inside of us because either we don't have time to feel them. Oh, you know, have you ever heard that saying? I know you have. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? We don't like to feel those things, or we think that they are too, quote, hard or too real and raw. So we stuff them down deep inside. What are the things? What are the emotions? What do you want to transform? What do you want to trap? That's what you need to think about next. And in just a second, I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. And I want you to take a piece of paper whatever, after, whoops, sorry about that. When you have decided what you want to trap, we're going to take a couple of minutes and we are going to free write. And now intuitive free writing is really important in this process because it's allowing us to really get in touch with what we want to change energetically. Okay. So either turn over to the back of your paper, maybe turn over to the back, and you're just going to write some words on the back. Let me get my timer up. Okay. So I'm going to have you, is anybody, if you're not ready to move on, just let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to assume, I'm not trying to assume, but I feel like everybody's okay to move on if you don't tell me. Okay. So I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes. Yes, Susan, when we are finished, I will go back over the heart pressure point. Okay, Kathleen, we are writing what we want to transmute, what we want to transform. So in the dreamcatcher, these things don't pass through and these things pass through. So what do you want to trap? What do you want to transmute? What do you want to transform? It could be anything. It could be emotions. It could be, you know, I feel really stressful today. I want to transform those stressful feelings. I have trouble being intimate with people, you know, with my friends. I go a certain, that used to be me. I go so far and then I put my hand out and keep people out just to protect myself. You know, it could be money. It could be whatever you want to transmute energetically. That's what we are getting ready to write about. And I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to write it. And so we are going, whatever comes out, comes out. Sometimes it's a repeat. If it's a repeat, just keep writing that same word over and over. We're just going to do that for 2 minutes. Ready and go. Sometimes they're short phrases, just whatever it is, don't think about it too much. And if you get stuck and you have a problem, just start writing the same words over and over that you already have. Keep going, we're almost finished. And stop. So now take your words, take your list of words and count how many words you have. And if you have a phrase, then count each word in that phrase. And then go ahead, after you've counted it, go ahead and put in the chat how many words you have. We're looking for at least 20 words. We're looking for at least 20 words. Good, good. 29, 32, 33, 27. Great. Awesome. 46. Good. We got some good stuff going on there. Oh, yay. 50, 43, 25, 40. So it looks like everybody has at least 20 words, which is amazing. Okay. So now while we're doing this, you're going to be thinking about those words, and then we're going to transform them. Okay. So that is our goal. I'm going to put this back down again so you can see. Now, again, our goal is to transmute emotions. And here's what I want you to start doing. You're going to loosely go over these lines. Now, here's the key to this. You think about the lines that you want to draw, and then you draw something else. So, for example, if you usually draw loose lines like this, think about doing that and then draw lines like really different than that. Okay. So here's what you're going to do here. You go around these and you kind of draw around it, but you kind of think like a willow branch or a grapevine. You're going to go around it 2 or 3 times. Each of these, you'll go around it 2 or 3 times and just kind of weave in and out. It's a free form. There is no real set formula to this. You just want some lines that interweave with each other. And now I'm going to go back through here, and I'm going to do that with every one of these. Really loosely. These are intuitive lines, and these are the lines that this process says are from your subconscious, from your intuition, because we've grounded, we've set an intention, and now we are creating the message, the energy that we want to transmute. And while you're doing this, really take notice of how your body feels. Are you holding your breath? What is going on inside your body? Is your breathing shallow? If it is, take deep breaths and slow down. Common things when your subconscious runs the show. So common things that happen when you are getting ready to transmute energy, because your subconscious is not silly. Your subconscious is really smart. Your subconscious tries to protect you. That's its job. So your subconscious is number one. Sometimes people get a headache in doing this kind of energy work. Sometimes they get really thirsty. Sometimes they get really hungry, and that hunger is a good indicator that you are doing this right. A headache is too, although I really don't want you all to get headaches. It's just a sign that energy is moving. It's more dynamic. It's not static. And energy is moving around, and that's really what we want. Okay. So I've got those lines here. And when you do that, then you're going to draw lines down from here, here, here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do them from each side. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's usually where your feathers would be, right? So now is where, if you have problems drawing, if you just don't know, this is where I would take this and I would just kind of push it down like a lid from a water bottle, or, whatever it is. If you have problems doing that, and then you're going to draw back over it a few times. Or alternatively, if you feel comfortable doing that yourself, just let that pen move. Just go all the way, and we're going to ground this drawing all the way to the edges of the page. And then you're going to do that. Again, remember, think about what you're going to draw and then do something different. Think about what you're going to draw and then go the opposite way. let's do something, because if you want to change, you have to do something that you haven't done before, right? However many times you think you need to draw down those lines to where you feel pretty satisfied. And we're going to draw it again. Oops, I got this one. And seriously, I drew this one out here. Don't worry about it. Just draw it to the edge of the page. It's okay. I'll show you how they all connect. And apparently that was supposed to be like that, and that's fine. And now these are going to intersect, and that's fine too. Usually in this process, when you're drawing these intuitive lines, the slower you go, the better it is. I'm going a little faster for the sake of time, but if you want to do this yourself, and in fact, you're going to get the link to the replay for this. Some of you will not get finished with your complete drawing, and that's okay. Some of you probably will get finished, but you'll have that replay link so that you'll be able to go back and refer to it. And I'm also going to send you the PowerPoint that has the steps on it too. Okay. So here's what I've got so far. And now the only thing that I have left to do, let me look. Yes, go to the end of the page. Kelly, no, you don't need to put any of the words that you wrote on this drawing. These are just for your reference, and you're thinking about those. The purpose in writing all of those words down is to get those things outside you, right? Energetically outside you, and to release it. Okay, so we have them written down outside of us, and we're in tune to what our intuition, our body is saying. So now the only thing left in this step is from this top one, you're going to draw the hanger that it would hang from. And I'm doing that with those intuitive lines also. However and wherever you feel like that would be best. Go ahead and take just a moment and get those done. Again, as you're drawing this, you really want to feel into, how is my body feeling? What am I feeling in my body right now? How do I feel about these lines? What's coming up? Really get in tune with what you are feeling and how you are feeling it. Is your jaw really tight? Have you tightened up your shoulders? If you have, you want to consciously just relax them. The next step, if I'm going too fast, will y'all let me know, please? Because sometimes I don't know if I'm going too fast or not. I've got this blue ink here because I want to show you the next step. The next step is what we call rounding off. And this is where I was talking about wherever there is a V, right? We are going to change that from a triangle, and we are going to change it into a more pleasing circle shape, because it emotionally and energetically affects us different. So wherever these lines meet, do you see where I've taken this? And I'm just, wherever these lines meet, I'm going to draw like a slight U. Now, some of these lines are so little, like some of these really fine lines, that I will probably just put a dot there. And then I've started doing that down through here too. And I want to show you this about the triangles. So these are triangles, right? We are trying to transmute those shapes into a more rounded shape. And when we do that, when we round off those corners, a cool thing happens that's called implied shape or implied line. If you're into art and you've practiced art, you know what that means. So even in these places where I've rounded this off, there could be an imaginary circle there. And we're trying to create spaces where it's more pleasing, it's more circular. We're transmuting that sharp point into something that's not sharp anymore. And the way that you get your beads down through here, when you round off all of these lines, there will be areas that will, like right here, this is so rounded, I'm like, oh, that's great. That's a place for a bead. And I'll just draw that in, okay? So I'm gonna put on some music and I'm just gonna draw. And we're gonna take a few minutes and we're gonna round off and just relax into it. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat. Otherwise, for about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, we are just going to listen to the music and draw, okay? So anywhere that they cross, just make that little U shape. Some of the lines you may want to outline a little bit. Some of them you may just want to leave them the way they are. Just leave it up to your intuition and don't think about it too awfully hard. Notice how your body feels as you begin to round the corners. Is it any different? We are not changing colors right now. The object is to, right now, we want the same colors. To kind of unify and bring into harmony everything as we are rounding off everything. We're just bringing harmony and unity into the piece. Let's do a body check. How's your body feeling? Is your body more relaxed now than it was? Is there any difference at all? Just kind of take note. Just kind of notice if the energy is lighter. And if you still feel some heavy energy, this is where you want to draw a circle. So anytime you feel really heavy energy, one of the things that you can do is either draw big circles like this would be, or in this case, I'm going to draw a sun. So it's going to be kind of a half circle. And this is totally and completely optional. And I'm going back and forth a couple of times just with these intuitive lines. And now I will round that off also. And we may want to have that energy moving across this to kind of transmute some of that heaviness. And if you need that, if you intuitively know that you need that, if you don't, it's okay. If you intuitively know you need that, then start to draw your intuitive lines down, and it's going to intersect through your sun catcher lines, and that, I mean, your dream catcher lines, and that is okay. And you know, I might follow it a little bit. Follow some of the lines just a little. And then I'll draw some intuitive lines through it. Just free form. And you draw, if you just want to draw two, that's fine. It's just like grounding. You draw as many as you need because all of the answers are already on the inside of you. They just have to emerge. And I'm going to do another. Now, everywhere I draw these lines, I'm going to round those off also. And I, just for me, I'm going to draw another line all the way up through here because I kind of like how that's going to look. I didn't like just the little spoke things right here. So just for me, and you don't have to do this, but I'm going to. You go with whatever you are led to do. And then I would start rounding out the middle also. We're going to say that the good thoughts, the good energy, the good juju is going to filter through here. You can start to see that wherever I've rounded off, it just takes on a whole different look. It almost seems alive. And that's what we want. It takes on a life of its own. Now, any of these that are really super small, if they're super small, you don't even have to round them off because they're so small. And some of them, I just do like a little dot. Little itty bitty dots, just to give it the illusion that it's rounded off. And I also took the liberty of my lines went a little over here. So I just drew a few little intuitive lines here, and I'm going to round them off because, again, the object is to keep them from being real super pointed and to really soften them. So I'm just doing a little bit of softening there. There's quite a few creatively fit coaches here, I think. And for my creatively fit coaching friends, this would be great to do on a canvas with a paint pen, an acrylic paint pen. You can do the same process and then paint it. I've been thinking about doing that, but I have not tried it yet, but I would be curious to know, or you could even do this with watercolor. I would say though, if you do this with watercolor, make sure that you use a water safe pen, like an ultrafine Sharpie. These Papermate pens are not water safe, or waterproof, I guess I should say. And I found that out the hard way. My intuitive squiggles don't have V's. Do I round off those spaces? Also, yes. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, Callie. You can round those off a little bit. if they intertwine, so if you have lines going here and they're rounded, see my lines are rounded too, but I've just kind of drawn to where they kind of squiggle and they create these little V's where they meet. And that's how I round those off. I've kind of done that for up here too. So just for the sake of time, you all can keep on drawing if you'd like. I am going to get out my colored pencils. I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to show you my finished product that I did. This was the demo for the class. And so when you finish rounding everything off, this is what it's going to look like. Or similar, you know, to what it looks like, intuitive, kind of alive. You can choose to color in these areas right here. I just chose to color in the beads and the dreamcatcher itself. However, this is your artwork, so there is no right or wrong. You can do it however you'd like. And, you know, if you want to just do it one color, you can. Again, it's an intuitive process. So I'm going to get out my pencils and let's see what happens here. I don't think about this much when it's intuitive. I just pick a color that's yummy to me, and what's yummy to me right now is this pink. So I think what I'm going to do is, and I have not rounded off everything yet. I'm just doing this again for the sake of time. Just kind of doing what I feel, pressing a little bit harder in the corners. And then I'm just going to kind of move around. Not pressing so hard. You're welcome, Sandy. Thank you for coming. What if it feels good to actually make the full circles and ovals? Then do it. Totally and completely. If it feels good for you to make those circles and ovals within here, then by all means do it. Remember, there is no right or wrong. And you are learning to trust your intuition. Everybody doing okay? I respect your time, and we are almost at the hour-and-a-half mark. So there are a couple of things that I want to share with you. One, let me get to it because I shut the window. I have a Facebook group that I would be honored if you would join. And if you will, I would love to see all of your beautiful drawings. Let me find it. I'll put the link on for you. Okay, I'm going to put the group link, this Facebook group link. It's Debbie Stroud Studio Energy Medicine, or Art Meets Energy Medicine. And there, oops, I need to do that to everybody. There's the Facebook group link. And so now just take an inventory of how you feel. Do you feel any different than you felt at the beginning? And if so, how? I also want to go back over a couple of couple of people have asked me to go back over the heart electric space. So I will do that. Let me turn the music down here. So with the heart electric space, we're taking the left hand, the thumb, first finger, and third finger, and pinching them together. And you're going to, it's about, if you measure it, it's a couple of 1, 2, just take your fingers and measure like 1, 2 down from your shoulder blade. There's a pressure point right there. If you just gently push that, and then take your thumb and third finger on your right hand, and you gently press into the indentation in your brow where your brow meets your eye. And you're gently just pushing those 2 pressure points very gently at the same time. And you inhale, and then do your breath exchange. It's like the Darth Vader breath or the dragon breath, just and let it out and really move that energy. And you'll want to do that 3 times. And the other one is the peacekeeper, holding peace in the palm of your hand. Remember, you put your palms together, use your third fingers, put them in the indentation right behind your ear. Gently cup your face. And of course, your thumb and your first finger, you're kind of cupping your neck. And then you do the same thing. I also want to share with you one more technique that we use in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. to really start to interrupt your thoughts. So let's say that, you know those thoughts that run around in your head all of the time. Some of you may not have that. I used to have that all the time. So, you're thinking, here's one that I did all the time, like my kids. If my kids didn't make it home on time, I would start thinking, wow, I wonder if they've been in an accident. And then my mind would start going, and it would keep going, and it would keep going. And I would be thinking, I would picture in my mind the accident, right? And then I'd picture in my mind the ambulance coming to get them. And then I'd grab my phone and I'd have to hurry up and call them and say, are you guys okay? Why? Because my thoughts ran away and I let them. So one of the really easy, good techniques to stop that is when you're thinking those things, sometimes it's helpful if somebody else helps you, but if you can get to the point where you think, and I snap my fingers because it helps me. I've done that from the very beginning, and I snap and I'll say, stop. And then I start saying my phone number backwards. 1, 6, 7, 2. And I have to really stop and I have to really think about it. Type in a reply. So, yeah, just say your phone number backwards. And it's just like lifting weights, right? You have to practice at it at the very first. And then when you get it really good, then start saying your last name backwards or whatever it takes to interrupt that thought pattern. And then you can tell yourself, you retrain that thought, my kids are good. I don't have to worry. Everything's fine. Or whatever situation that you are in. So at the beginning of my talk, I told you that I was going to tell you some things. Hopefully I've given you something that has enriched your life. And I was also going to tell you about also marketing my services. And so I do one-on-one client transformations. I work a lot with family karma and healing generational family karma. I use neurolinguistic programming techniques, but I also use this neurographic art, and we also do intuitive painting, along with cosmic mapping, family constellations. And so I do a lot of family karma work, and I also do a lot of self-love work, self-esteem work. A lot of my work is extensively used with the elements in the very shamanic tradition. And yeah, that's my work. I have some group things that are coming up, and let me put you can connect with me on Facebook. A lot of you have already connected with me on Facebook. That's probably how you found this, either through the Start Your Art workshop, the Art Summit, or through being a creatively fit coach, or whatever it is. You've probably seen me on social media, but here's my website. trustthebrush.com, but debbystroud.com will get you the exact same thing. I have some free resources on there. There is a couple of classes that I offer for free right now. There's one that's called Fear to Fearless, and you need a coupon code for that. And I'm typing this in right now. The coupon code to get that for free, I think it's like $50. Otherwise, it is all capital letters, Start Your Art. And if there are any of you that are that participated in the Start Your Art, if you will message me privately, I will give you another coupon code to get another one of my workshops, since you have already downloaded the Fear to Fearless. And so I want to open up the floor right now for questions. Does anybody have any questions that you would like to have answered? If you would love to share your drawing, I would love to see it. I really would love for you all to put them in the Debbie Stroud Studio group too, so everybody can see them. But does anybody have any questions? Nobody? Okay. Well, for the sake of time then, and respecting your time, I am going to sign off. I do want to say to Callie, will you message me on Facebook after this session is over, and I'll speak to you privately. Okay. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and I hope that this was a blessing to you. I love you all, and you'll get the replay tomorrow. Mwah. Have a good evening.